So we're just going to talk about a few things about our Paris trip. I know you guys have been dying to hear about it. And just some tips and tricks, things we learned along the way, and what we would do the same, what we do different. So let's get started.
Obviously you have the whole packing situation. I would roll your clothes. It really does save a lot more space. And leave a little bit of room for in case you need to go shopping or bring something back. Most likely you will. It just beeped.
I know, I did that.
Okay, anyways. Pack comfy shoes. Oh man, I brought nice shoes, comfy shoes, gym shoes. I brought all kinds of shoes, but I definitely wore my comfy shoes.
Comfy shoes the most. In fact, Brianna had me carry her nice shoes in my bag for the pictures, so she was wearing the comfy shoes, but you never see that in the picture.
No, you won't.
So we bought some air tags. They look like this. They're really small, and we put them in our important bags, so like our checked bag, our carry-ons, Brianna's backpack, just to kind of keep track of everything, make sure everything was together, because we've heard a lot of rumors that a lot of bags were getting misplaced and lost at the airports and stuff like that, so we just wanted to know where everything was.
So that's one tip. Know how you're going to pay for things abroad. So we used our World MasterCard. You want to explain that to them, honey?
Yeah, so luckily Brianna, out of the one out of many of her cards was a World MasterCard. So the nice part about the World MasterCards is that they don't charge exchange fees for foreign transactions. So that's really nice. You don't want a card that's going to charge you 3 to 5% on every transaction. And then MasterCard, out of all the major card companies like Visa, American Express and stuff like that, it's widely accepted and they have very good exchange rates. So pretty much spot on exchange rate. It's much better and safer than carrying cash with you. Plus with cash, you don't get that great of an exchange rate. Yeah, we only change like $100 of cash. So.
And maybe call your credit card company beforehand because, for example, for me, I had TJ Maxx World MasterCard, and they pretty much put everything as fraud if they're not used to seeing a charge. So definitely in France, I had to call a few days before, and I just said, hey, we're going to be in France, this part of France, we're going to be there at this date at this day, and they authorized those days just in case your card gets lost and somebody else uses it past the date of your vacation. So that's a good tip. Otherwise you probably will call while you're there, and that's really inconvenient.
And in fact, we even had to call.
We actually had to. They didn't believe that we were doing all these stuff, and I'm like, no, that's us. And when I called, it was all in French, which made it even more complicated.
Yeah, they're answering. So
just call beforehand. Just do it, seriously.
And then just another quick thing that we wanted to talk about, like before you leave, how to get ready for your trip, is make sure to leave some extra space. You're gonna want to bring some stuff back.
I said that.
Did you? Dang it, baby.
It's
restarting this.
No, we're not restarting this.
Yesterday, you said tomorrow, so just do it!
Honey, I'm not doing this again. This is our second time where we stayed.
Okay. So we stayed near Notre Dame, which is really nice. It was a beautiful little neighborhood, very alive. There's people on the streets and lots of restaurants around. Plus, there's a lot to do around there. The Louvre was only like a 10-minute walk from us. We could walk along the river whenever we felt like it. There's bus stations and train stations everywhere, which is super nice. So our tip is to try to kind of center yourself around Notre Dame or like the Louvre area, because number one, it's really nice, and it's also very central to everything.
Definitely.
Yeah, so don't try to stay near the Eiffel Tower.
Even though it sounds like you should, there's nothing really, actually Champs-Élysées.
Yeah, that's nice.
That's really nice. But you can just make a day trip out of it. That's where all the nice shopping is. Like, there's like the designer stores.
We spent the whole day there.
We spent a whole day. You have to go there. So Champs-Élysées is pretty much the only thing by
the Eiffel Tower.
Some Airbnbs will not have AC. Ours didn't.
Yeah,
they provided us with a fan. It was good. It was fine. We left the windows open during the night, so we managed.
Yeah.
Right?
It was fine. And we were on like the 3rd or 4th floor, so perfectly safe.
And I also wanted to say, sometimes, don't be alarmed. Some Airbnbs, I'm only speaking of Airbnbs because I mean hotels too. I don't think hotels have this all around, but I think that a lot of places don't have hot water running throughout the entire day. Ours didn't, so it was just a few minutes.
Just a few minutes at a time, so we kind of had to
figure out,
take turns, alternate.
Yeah, figure out your shower stuff.
We really wanted to feel like we were experiencing the culture, so we stayed in Airbnb.
I think it's a lot more
to feel like
fun.
a local, you know?
Yeah. Oh yeah, we had a little kitchen in our Airbnb. I think that's really, really helpful if you're, you know, A, trying to save money, B, on a time crunch. Otherwise, you're just you're gonna be eating out all the time, which there's nothing wrong with that. It's vacation.
But it does take up your time. So.
It does take up your time. So we just wanted to make quick meals here and there on the go. How did we get around?
So I know it sounds crazy.
This is probably the most. This for us was the most stressful.
Yeah, it was stressful, but at the same time, just once you figure it out, it was fun. So we bought these things. They're called Navigo passes. They look just like this, and this is how you get around all the public transport in Paris area. So you buy one of these cards for €5, and then you load it up with however much you want. So we loaded up for the week, so that way you have unlimited rides on any of the buses, any of the train stations, and you're able to just scan your pass and you get in, or you scan your pass while you get on the bus. So it's super handy little things, and
I think everybody in France has one.
Yeah, like I said, there's literally a train station or bus stop, like 2-3 minute walk from anywhere. So it's super convenient. The quickest way to get around too. They have Uber and taxis there too, but honestly, a lot of times it's not as fast as using the metros because you go straight like underground. It's so cool.
We used Google Maps to get just about everywhere, so I'm going to show you what it looks like. For example, going to the Eiffel Tower from where we stayed. I'm going to choose the option with the metro and a train. So we walk 4 minutes to Odeon, which is the metro stop, and it shows you which metro to get on, number 4, and it even shows you which direction to go to. You have 5 stops, and it shows you the 4 stops in between. Get off at the 5th, walk another minute, then you go to your bus stop and get on number 82. It shows you when those buses are coming, and you ride 13 stops on those buses, and shows you all the stops in between. If you click on it, get off at Tour Eiffel, walk 1 minute, and you're at the Eiffel Tower. So this was really helpful, shows you everything step by step, and that's how we got around.
What else?
Also, something worthy to mention, these only last a week, so not even a week from the day you get there. It's from Monday to Sunday. So we got there Wednesday, so technically we lost on Monday, Tuesday, you know what I mean? So we actually had to reload on Monday because we stayed from Wednesday to Thursday. So you kind of have to pay twice. So maybe if you plan your trip, plan it from Monday to Monday, maybe.
Or however long.
Or however long, or 2 weeks or 3 weeks. So that's that about getting around. You should probably do that the first day you get there.
And now we're gonna move into just some general advice, things we found out while we were on our trip. And
we don't speak French. We try, but we barely. I mean, we know phrases here and there.
Bonjour. Une pain au chocolat. Un, pas une. Un pain au chocolat.
And only when you're in a place that is like authentic do you realize you don't speak the language. So start with like bonjour. Bonjour.
It's good, like they appreciate when you greet them in their home language, so it sounds hilarious, but just say it when you get
also
somewhere.
It's fun, and then try to ask them how to say little things here and there, but they'll know you're American, baby, when you're American.
They could tell, right? They smell those. If you don't want to bring your passport everywhere because you don't want to run the risk of losing it, but at least
you kind of do.
Yeah, at least have a picture of your passport, because we did a couple things like renting a car. I didn't know you had to have your passport with you, and I literally had to go all the way back home, grab the passports, and come back. Because he's like, do you at least have a picture? And I was like, no, I don't even have a picture. So
they're really serious about that.
Save yourself the trouble. At least take a picture of your passport. That way, in case you need it, they have all your information down.
Another reason why you might need your passport is for shopping. We were at a store on Champs-Élysées, and we wanted to make a purchase, and I guess maybe it's because it was a bigger purchase. I'm not sure if they do that for everything, but they pretty much said, do you have your passport? And me and Jason looked at each other and we're like, no.
Yeah.
They're like, you need your passport. Mostly because we were trying to get that tax.
Yeah, they give you a tax return.
Return. It's called VAT.
Yeah. If you purchase a bigger item, like that would be worth it. They give you money back on taxes because you don't live there, and so you don't owe that country anything.
Yeah, so shopping there is pretty good.
It's pretty cool. And another thing to just mention with that is when you see the price, like let's say you go to the grocery store, it says €3.50. That's what you pay. You don't add an additional percentage on top for the taxes because it's all included.
Yeah.
So same with big items, same with groceries, same with everything. It's really cool.
Definitely would go back for the shopping alone. Right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That was
that's
so
a must. So fun. As far as ordering food, this was something that we weren't aware of, but pretty much when you order food in line, like let's say you're at a fast food place, the line might seem really, really, really long. Give it a shot, give it a go. Just stand in line, because the way they do it, which is not how they do it in America, it's you pretty much order your food and get your food at the same time.
Yeah. So for example, you go in a coffee shop, you wait your turn, and then you're at the front of the line, you say, okay, I want 2 cappuccinos and 2 croissants, please. And they say, okay. And they take your order down. They will make your coffee and put your croissants, everything on a tray. And then they give you the thing to pay.
So don't walk away.
Yeah.
Because you don't have a number or anything. They won't call your name.
It almost seems awkward, but that's what we've noticed is actually the norm there. You just kind of sit there and wait for your food or your coffee or whatever.
Yeah, it was cool because you get your food right when you're at the front of the line, so that's nice.
Yeah. So what she was trying to say is the line might seem really long, but once you get to the front, like you're fully taken care of.
Okay, what would we not do again? We wouldn't rent a car. That's
yeah.
for sure.
So many reasons why you wouldn't rent a car, but if you're staying just in Paris, number 1, you don't need it. And number 2, it's like a really big inconvenience and a really stressful, because if you know, ding the car, or if you damage it, whatever, you're gonna have to pay for it one way or another. Plus,
and the transportation there is just so great and easy
you get around
that
everywhere.
you just don't need the car. We actually thought about this for such a long time.
Oh yeah.
I've spoke to bloggers and like people that
Brianna message people on Instagram.
I straight up
like,
message people. Yeah, and they were really, really nice. They're like, absolutely not. You do not need a car.
Yeah. And it sounds crazy because, like, you know, you go to a big city here, you think, like, oh, I need a car if I go to Chicago or whatever. But
yeah, it's just not
you
like that
literally
there.
don't need it there. It's crazy.
And the streets are really small. Just save yourself the trouble.
Yeah. Plus, they only really have stick shift. I mean, most of their cars are stick shift, so you gotta know how to pull a little Fast and Furious over there.
I wouldn't do it. And then another thing we wouldn't do again is we wouldn't get sparkling water at the restaurants.
Yeah. So you think like, oh, how much could it cost? Like, I just felt like it one day, so I'm like, yeah, I'll have some sparkling water. Brianna had the regular water, so they brought it in 2 like glass bottles, and I was like,
and we felt really cool.
Yeah,
like, yeah, this is nice.
Ooh, yeah.
We were at Cafe de Flore, so we just be careful.
Yeah. So they didn't tell us how much it would be, and we didn't see it on the menu, and then the bill comes back. It's €8 for each water. So think about like almost $20 we spent for just water. It's crazy.
So just ask for tap. There's a French phrase, I don't think I wrote it down, but you can ask for it that way, but just say tap, they'll know.
Yeah, a pitcher of tap water.
And it's free, so I was seriously shocked. I would never do that again.
Yeah, tap water is safe to drink there by like pretty much every standard, so.
Yeah, they have water fountains in the middle of the street.
Remember? Yeah, super cool. You just fill up your bottle in the middle of the street.
Yeah. When we first get there, I'm just thinking about this now because I don't think we wrote.
Oh yeah, we didn't write that.
We didn't write it down. This was, and I told them that we'd talk about the scam thing. So there's like scams going on all over Paris for sure. Mm-hmm. But what happened when we first got there? We got there.
Yeah, so we got there, we got out of the airport, super busy airport, so there's people everywhere. And we walked out looking for a taxi. and someone approached us and they were like, do you need a taxi?
So we said, yeah, of course
So,
we do.
yeah, I was like, yeah, let's get out of here. Let's go. And
we were
so
tired and
as I'm loading my stuff up into this guy's trunk, someone taps Brianna on the shoulder and he goes, don't get in the car with that person.
obviously super spooky, right?
Yeah.
So I looked at Jason, and at this point the luggages were pretty much already in the car. Jason's butt was almost sitting in that guy's car, and I'm like, don't do it. So Jason took the luggages out. He's like, we're not doing this anymore.
The guy was understanding, but
I think he was understanding because he knew he was about to scam us. So pretty much what the guy who tapped me on the shoulder, he worked at the airport, and he said that guy, he pretty much picks people up from the airport and he takes them to where they need to go, but he charges them double what he says in the first place, and he locks the car and he doesn't let them out, and he doesn't let them out until they pay him. So
yeah, because he's not an official taxi. He doesn't have like, the Paris taxi sign on top.
So pretty much only really, if you're gonna take a taxi, go to the cars that say taxi, Parisian taxi.
They come out of like a certain area. Only taxis are allowed in there either way, so like you won't miss it. Plus they also have Uber. We took Uber on our way back to the airport.
Yeah,
it's pretty much like the same price. So
we got a lot of luggage.
Yeah.
Yeah. Right.
But other than that, what are some things we do again, baby?
Eat croissants. Oh my goodness.
Yeah.
I'd eat way more croissants than I did.
I know.
And I had more croissants than I've had in my entire life.
We only had 1 or 2 per day, but we could do more next time, right, baby?
No, I'm serious. I think even in the moment you think that you're eating all of this stuff, but you're gonna walk it off.
Oh my goodness.
We one day we had 25,000 steps per person on your birthday. Yeah. So I would eat the croissants again. I would eat the snails again.
Oh yeah, the snails.
Sounds disgusting,
honestly,
but they were so good.
You gotta try it. They put like garlic on them. It sounds weird, but delicious.
I would also get to the airport really early. Do you want to explain why?
So on the morning of us coming back, we only had our flight around noon, and I told Brianna, I was like, we gotta be out of the house in the Uber by 7:30, 8 the latest.
And I thought he was a little crazy.
She's like, what are you talking about? That's like so long.
That's so early.
Yeah, it takes an hour to get to the airport, so just keep that in mind because there's usually traffic. And then the lines there were nuts. It was just so many people. I've never seen so many people.
I've never seen an airport like that in my life. It was super, super organized and super advanced. All of Paris is very advanced, very clean too, unlike what people say. But yeah, I would definitely go.
Yeah, make sure you get there early.
We barely made it. We actually we left at 8 a.m. Our flight was at 12:30 p.m. We had 20 minutes to spare.
So we got some like McDonald's or something.
No, it was the macaroons. The macaroon.
They had macaroons at McDonald's. I mean, that's awesome.
I know. So that's something.
It took so long to get through, but
yeah, the weather. So we went in August, and we just went. That's just like the time Jason had off, and it was just easier for us to go then. I would say it's high season, so you're probably going to be spending more than you would if you go in the fall, but that's pretty much the Parisians like vacation month. So usually it's just like a bunch of tourists. And what's the weather like there? Well, the weather, I would say for me personally, like I would bring a sweater. I brought blazers because that's my look, right? But I actually ended up wearing my blazers the most because it was so cold at night. It was so cold in the morning.
Yeah.
And then it was really hot during the day. So
so bring versatile clothes. You might be chilly in the evening, but during the day, like just regular summer weather.
Jason was really hot during the day, but he was also carrying a backpack, right?
With all her shoes.
No, seriously.
The thing we didn't want to bring our
we didn't want to bring our wedding rings. I'm kind of glad we didn't. I got pickpocketed.
After all, why not? Why shouldn't I keep it? I think you should leave the ring behind.
Yeah. There's so many things to think about. Like, do I have my phone? Do I have my wallet? Do I have these bus passes?
Do you have your camera if you're a photographer or you're into, taking really nice pictures?
We brought our tripod everywhere because we didn't have people to take pictures of us all the time. We had like shoes
Water.
and stuff.
You need water.
Yeah, you need
Lots of water with you at all times.
So there's so much to keep track of. You don't want to worry like, did somebody take the ring off my hand, or like, you know, something crazy.
But at the same time, wear what you want to wear. Like if you have a nice watch, wear it, because everybody's dressed really, really nice there. And
yeah, that's one thing that's really different is people, they dress their best when they go out there, right?
Oh, everybody was dressed.
Yeah. So like, feel good, bring your nice stuff, but I don't know, to me a ring, like something so small that you could lose, I just didn't want to worry about it, so we just brought our decoys.
Yeah, our decoys. You get them off Amazon. We paid a couple bucks for them, and I don't regret it.
Yeah, exactly.
But yeah, that's pretty much everything we wrote down. We made this video beforehand and it was like 50 minutes.
Yeah, we wanted to shorten it up.
Now we're doing it again, and it's
pack a punch.
Hopefully it's much shorter because you just don't have to hear everything that we have to say.
Yeah.
But those were the biggest tips. So yeah, probably if I'm like scanning this over again, the number one thing I would focus on is how you're gonna pay for stuff, because you don't want the foreign exchange rate.
Yeah, how you're gonna get around.
How you're gonna get around. You just need this. I would also definitely get air tags, just because you just don't want to be that person that loses their luggage.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. So that's pretty much it.
Yeah. Let us know if you have any questions down below.
Yep. Au revoir. Am I out?